Imagine a battlefield in absolute silence, no explosions, no shouting, just the sound of your own heartbeat, steady in your chest. To your left, criticism. To your right, frustration. Behind you, old fears. In front of you, the chaos of everyday life. And yet, you don't run. You don't react. You walk calmly, as if nothing could touch you. This isn't arrogance. It's not coldness. It's the highest form of mastery. I call it silent authority. Most people live at war with the world. Everything affects them. They crumble over the smallest things. They're trapped in constant emotional vigilance, reacting to every comment, exploding over every delay, shrinking under the fear of rejection, and over time that takes a toll. Peace stolen, focus scattered, power surrendered. But there is another way, a way of living where nothing, absolutely nothing, holds power over your inner state. That's what we're diving into today, and this isn't philosophy, it's practice. In this video, I'm going to guide you through a journey of mental reconstruction. You'll learn how to train your mind to act as if nothing affects you. Even when everything around you is trying to shake you, you'll walk away with a new mental standard, with tools to strengthen your armor, with daily rituals to cultivate an unshakable presence, and more. You'll understand that this isn't emotional numbness, it's total internal power, because true power doesn't shout, it imposes itself in silence. Get ready to enter the realm of strategic indifference, the science of impenetrable calm, the code of unshakable presence. The journey begins now. Most people don't even realize it, but they live in a constant state of emotional vulnerability. They're at the mercy of the outside world. A sideways glance ruins their day. One comment at work makes their heart race. A delay in plans and their mind collapses. This emotional fragility has become normal. But it shouldn't be, because every time you react without thinking, you surrender your power. Every time someone irritates you, shakes you, pulls you off balance, that person is controlling your internal state, and that is unacceptable. Think about it. How many times in the past week have you lost energy over things that didn't matter? Pointless arguments, comments that changed absolutely nothing in your life? If you're honest, you'll realize you've been leaking power to things unworthy of your attention. That's the heart of the issue. Most people are emotionally distracted. They don't see that every impulsive reaction is a vote against their own inner authority. It's like being in an auction, selling your piece to the highest bidder, and the cost is real, invisible, but deep. You lose focus, you lose clarity, and little by little you begin to question your own strength. But the problem isn't the world. The world is, and always will be, unpredictable. The real issue is the lack of internal structure. Your mind must be stable, even when nothing else is. That's where the journey of mental armor begins. But before we can build it, we need to understand why the mind cracks so easily. The answer is simple: lack of training. No one is born calm. No one is born unshakable. This is built through intention. From a young age, we're trained to react, to chase approval, to depend on external conditions to feel good. This sets a dangerous pattern. Every time the external changes, the internal shifts with it. Like a boat with no anchor, we drift with the tide of circumstances, but you cannot build a strong life with a weak mind, and that's what we're undoing here. It's time to flip the script, to stop reacting and start responding, to stop being emotionally predictable and become emotionally strategic. Once you realize this, that you no longer have to be affected by everything, that you can choose your internal state, you escape the cage and you begin truly to access freedom. Not freedom to do whatever you want, but the freedom to remain yourself, even when the world tries to pull you off course. That is the root of true strength. And starting now, we're going to build it together. What does it truly mean to act as if nothing bothers you? It's not about denying your emotions. It's not about pretending to be cold. It's about mental discipline, emotional sovereignty, an internal state that doesn't shift with every stimulus. An unshakable mind doesn't mean the absence of feelings. It means the presence of awareness, the ability to feel, and still choose your response with clarity. Here's the turning point. Most people live in a reactive mode. Someone says something, they explode, something goes off plan, they spiral, a setback hits, they quit. It's all driven by an invisible addiction, an addiction to emotional stimulation. The brain gets hooked on the adrenaline of anger, excitement, anxiety. But this kind of stimulation doesn't build strength. It breeds instability. You become a slave to your mood. Your performance depends on emotional weather, and your energy leaks through conflicts that should never exist. But there's another way, a path followed by leaders, warriors, masters, elite performers. They've all mastered one fundamental truth. You don't have to react to everything you feel. Your mind wasn't designed to be obeyed. It was designed to be trained. And when you train it, you begin to interpret the world differently. Criticism is no longer a threat. Obstacles become invitations. External chaos transforms into a stage for mastery. You can't control what happens outside, but you can always control the meaning you give to it. That's the core of personal power. And it's built upon three foundational pillars. Identity clarity. When you know who you are, the world loses its power to define you. Other people's opinions become noise. Your self-worth no longer depends on performance. It's rooted in purpose. Separation between emotion and action. Feeling is human. Reacting impulsively is weakness. The modern warrior feels anger and turns it into focus, feels frustration, and channels it into execution. They don't deny emotion, but they refuse to be ruled by it. Strategic presence. Being present means seeing things as they are, not through the ego's lens. It's pausing before responding, choosing silence when others expect retaliation, observing with calm, acting with precision. These three foundations, identity, separation, and presence, build an anti-fragile mindset. It doesn't mean you won't be tested. It means the more life tries to break you, the stronger you return. This is the kind of strength that builds empires, that leads with presence, that executes with focus, that lives with intention. And this is what we're cultivating here. In the next part, I'll show you how to apply these principles in your daily life, with practical methods to train your mind to remain still, even when the world outside falls apart. Theory without practice is an illusion. Now it's time to turn insight into discipline. You want to act as if nothing affects you? Then you must train your mind like a warrior trains the body, with consistency, method, and intent. Here are the 5 daily rituals that forge an anti-fragile mind. They don't require talent, they require decision. The conscious pause ritual. Before reacting to any trigger, pause, count to 3, breathe. This brief moment shifts your trajectory. It pulls you out of autopilot and puts you back in command. Train it in small moments. Someone interrupts you, pause. A harsh email, breathe before replying. A criticism, observe, don't attack. The pause is the space where weak minds react and strong minds decide. The strategic visualization ritual. Every day for 2 minutes, close your eyes and visualize you calm in the midst of chaos, you steady under criticism, you focused under pressure. The brain doesn't distinguish between real and vividly repeated imagination. If you rehearse that version of yourself, your nervous system begins to accept it as normal. You start living what your mind has already mastered. The mental strength journal ritual. At the end of each day, write, where did I maintain control today? Where did I react in ways I want to avoid? What did I learn about myself? This journal builds self-awareness and refinement. It turns experience into wisdom and shows you're evolving, creating forward momentum. The selective attention ritual. Choose 3 things per day to consciously ignore. Literally, ignore them. Unnecessary comments, complaints, provocations. Practicing the art of ignoring is as powerful as focusing. You train your mind to filter what matters and discard the rest. A fortified mind isn't the one that sees everything. It's the one that chooses what to believe. The body as ally ritual move daily. Your body influences your internal state. Exercise isn't just about aesthetics. It's neurochemistry. It's identity. When you move the body, you shift the mind. When you push your limits physically, you're training mental resilience. Mind and body must work together or your energy turns against itself. These 5 rituals form the foundation of emotional shielding. They aren't difficult. What's difficult is consistency. But that's where strength is built. Remember, you're not training to avoid emotion. You're training to feel and stay firm. This is the path of the indomitable, the ones who don't demand respect. They command it through presence. In the next part, we'll talk about how to reinforce your shield, how to stay sharp even on days of collapse, chaos, or overwhelming challenge. Because discipline isn't forged in easy moments. It's born when everything in you wants to quit, and you don't. Training your mind is only the beginning. Shielding your mind is what sustains the journey. Because real strength isn't doing the right thing when everything feels easy. It's doing the right thing even when everything inside you wants to quit. And those days will come. Days when motivation disappears. Days when exhaustion swallows you whole. Days when the inner voice says, "What's the point?" That's when the real game begins, because that's when most people give up. But you are not most people. You're building a mindset that doesn't bow to emotional weather. You're engineering a shielding system. And here's how to keep it running under pressure. The daily anchor of purpose. Each morning, reconnect with your why. Read your mission out loud. Write down your purpose. Remind yourself of what's at stake. When you reconnect with your why, the how gets stronger. The mind needs direction, and purpose is direction with soul, the non-negotiable shield. Set small daily commitments that are non-negotiable, even when tired, even when unmotivated, even in a bad mood. Examples: meditate for 5 minutes, write one line in your journal, execute one key habit. They seem small, but they carry massive weight. You become someone who honors your word. That identity shields you, because when you follow through, self-trust builds, and trust is the cement of discipline. The strategic recovery cycle shielding is not rigidity, it's intelligent energy management. You need breaks. Breaks are not escape, they are recalibration. Schedule focused recovery moments, 10 minutes of total silence, a phone-free walk, a mindful shower. These resets keep your mind sharp. Without them, pressure becomes burnout, and burnout leads to collapse. The filter of inner truth. When chaos hits, ask, does this truly threaten my purpose, or is it just noise? Does this demand reaction, or just a breath? Use questions as armor. The mind loses power when it reacts impulsively, but it regains dominance when it responds with clarity. The ritual of power reminders. Keep a notebook or board with evidence of your strength. Past challenges overcome, real victories, identity-affirming quotes. On hard days, revisit that proof. Remind yourself of who you've already been capable of being. You've conquered before, you'll conquer again. Shielding the mind means understanding that the world will test you and preparing for it anyway. Not so you never fall, but so you always rise with more awareness, more clarity, more strength. In the next part, we move into the final chapter, the closure of your transformation, and the call that turns everything into bold, intentional action. You're not here by accident. If you've made it this far, it's because there's a fire inside you, a refusal to live a common life, a calling for more command, more clarity, more presence, more inner power. And this calling is not to be ignored, because the world is already full of people living on autopilot, reacting to everything, trapped by their emotions, fragile, scattered, lost. But you are not most people. You're building something rare. You're forging a trained mind, one that stands steady under pressure, capable of walking through chaos with steady breath, sharp vision, and firm decisions. And that mind is no accident. It is built with practice, with intention, with consistent action. So here's my message to you. Continue. Come back to this video as often as needed. Each section carries a seed, and every time you revisit, another part of your identity awakens. But above all, take action. Nothing changes until you change, and nothing transforms until you decide to live differently. You want focus, discipline, clarity? Then watching is not enough. You must apply, embody, live it. And if this message resonated with you, I invite you to do 2 things. First, subscribe to our channel. That simple action helps us spread this message to more people. People like you, ready to live with more awareness, more power, and more direction. Second, Take your next step in the transformation. Watch our first video. In it, I'll show you how to complete any task with the same mental strategy Tom Cruise uses in Mission Impossible. It's a practical execution training, pure focus under pressure. Every episode we release here at Vision Hill is a step, a concrete advance for those who want to live with purpose, presence, and peak performance. Click, watch, evolve. The revolution begins within. Thank you for staying with me this far, and I'll see you in the next video.